A2000 EST OCOEE. They said if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. They said my time's wasted if I ain't chasing a bag. But pops told me never chase nothing. Only here to lead lost souls to the kingdom. That's fast. I only focus on the kingdom and everything else that I need. I know it will attract. If I lose it all now, I know he'll bring it right back. I ain't worried about the cards or the clothes or the plaque. Even if I ball and count big stacks, I would never put that before you know I won't get attached. Cause that would never last though. You wrapped your arms around me like a lasso. You went and painted the picture Picasso. Oops, Picasso, you made my heart grow. A lesson I learned from the seed is it starts slow. Trust me, you gon' see the tree if you look close. Don't you know having faith is a substance of things that you don't see. But trust me, you gon' see the fruits of your labor.
Yo, what's up? It's Newbie back again with yet another stream. What is poppin', y'all? And see here. How's it going? How's it going? We have a lot that I'm gonna try to get to. So I might like zip from topic to topic to topic quicker than I usually do. But I'm just trying to get through everything. We've got some big topics to talk about. Tucker Carlson has been replaced at Fox News finally after much hemming and hawing, and then hawing and hemming again. We have a massive Supreme Court ruling that will affect how the next presidential election will be handled. What else do we have? Oh yeah, CNN just, dropped portions of the call that's, or not the call, the conversation that Trump had in, I believe, 2021, where he supposedly showed classified documents to somebody. So we've got that too. That also is going on.
Official Mike. Said in the chat.
Got some interesting things going on.
Well,
a busy news day.
Work 3 straight weeks if they giving me 3 days off for holiday from China today, and I don't know why work wants off Monday too. There's nothing on Monday.
I'm gonna work 3 straight weeks. They give me 3 days off for holiday. What's China? What's China today? I don't know what China today is. Hold on. I think you're rambling in the chat a little bit there, Mike. Are you saying that they're taking you off work even though they don't want you on work? I mean, are you doing a good job at your job? Because I would hate to leap to this conclusion, but it is possible that they're like benching you because they want someone more productive there, which makes sense from like a business perspective.
Said in the chat, Canada Day is July 1st, but it's a Saturday.
Oh, well, maybe they're just taking the closest consecutive closest consecutive workday off. Because if they did that, then they would pick the 3rd. Because the 3rd is the following Monday. Like for organizations that here in America observed Juneteenth as like a holiday, people took the 19th off. Juneteenth also was like, like they took Monday off. So, but yeah, hey, look, are you getting paid in your days off? Because if you're getting paid in your days off, I would just be chilling. There's more to life than working. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. So if you're not working, that's completely fine.
Said in the chat, and everyone is off on July 1st to July 3rd, but I would have thought you would have worked off, and day in lieu's are stupid.
Day in lieu? I don't understand what you're saying there exactly. Everyone is off on July 1st to July 3rd. But I would have thought you would have worked off and day in lieu. What does that mean?
Official Mike said in the chat, yeah, but I use up some banked OT hours, and newbie, my purpose in life is to work.
Then you can find a McDonald's chain. Legit, there are people out there who get second jobs. Like, Yeah, and if your current job isn't giving you enough hours, so you could go out and find another job. Especially one where like you could like set your own hours. That would be awesome. Like some sort of like part-time position. Like that would be fire.
Official Mike said in the chat, like you would have worked on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, again, like if you...
Mike said in the chat, but days in lieu are stupid.
What are days in lieu? Days in lieu is not something I'm particularly familiar with. Days in lieu? Days in lieu does not ring a bell particularly. But that's just me. Days in lieu? Maybe it's like a legal term or something that I can look up. Days in lieu. Oh, here we go. Well, also, the Brave search engine is like absolute garbage. Let's see. Days in lieu.
Official Mike said in the chat, means like a holiday is on a weekend but they decide to give the following Monday off.
Oh, well that makes sense. Time off in lieu is toil. They literally call time off in lieu toil. That's hilarious. Okay, because that's like the exact opposite of what it is. Okay, time off in lieu is a term used for when an employee has worked extra hours and instead of accepting overtime pay, they take extra time off. Oh, dude, you just played yourself there. If that was the case,
Official Mike
if that's how the system works, then I can easily see.
Is stupid.
I agree, dude. I agree. But if that's how the system is built, you gotta play within the system that you're put in. And so, like, if the system works so that if you work overtime, and if you work overtime, instead of getting paid extra, you take time. Excuse me. You take time off. You can't be shocked if they bench you, because they kind of have to. Like, for example, did you put in a lot of overtime? If you put in a lot of overtime, this would kick in.
Said in the chat, no, it's going to everyone.
Oh, that's weird. I'm a little confused. Wait, so the time in lieu is going to everyone, even though they didn't work? I'm lost, dude. I'm so confused. I'm very, very confused. I don't know exactly what you're describing here.
Official Mike said in the chat, I'm gonna learn to fix engines like Troy so I can compete with Troy. The dude has 94 banked OT hours, whereas I only have 4.
Wow. That's cool. That's cool. I mean, yeah, learning something new is a good idea. Like, if you're not working too, and that's sustainable. Like, you're not like, what is it? Not derelict or delinquent, but I forget what the term is. But if you're like, as long as you have enough money to like, keep on chilling and doing stuff, like, you can learn more stuff about your job in your time off. That also works. But all right. We do have to hit these news topics. The just chatting was fun. But we do have to dive into some of the headlines of the day. Then after that, I'll be playing some Halo. If the boys from the Car 3 server do not happen to be online, then I'll just have my Discord tuned in to my Discord server, which you can join using the link below, so I can just talk with you guys as I play Halo. Yeah, but anyways, let's dive into this. We have a few big headlines here. Let's see. Yeah, hold on. I gotta get the intro right. So things seem to have been quiet for some reason regarding Tucker Carlson after he left Fox News for, surprisingly, Twitter. Now, I know that people sort of stopped paying attention to Fox News, stopped paying attention to how much the ratings have dipped, which probably means that the ratings have dipped even further, to be honest. But Fox News has finally gotten everything together. They've now announced a new primetime slot. So, they have replaced Tucker Carlson with Jesse Waters. Jesse Waters hosts, Jesse Waters Primetime. If you're not familiar with Jesse Waters is this guy. Let's see here. Let me pull this up. Jesse, hold on, Fox News. No, it was the anti-work. He had Jesse Waters was the guy who did the anti-work interview. And yeah, for some reason, YouTube is not letting me, find the interview by searching it in YouTube. I have to Google it. Oh, I think I have to Google it, find the link on Reddit. Because I think it was on Reddit. Find the link on Reddit. And then that link goes to YouTube. It's a weird thing. Hold on, where is it? Let's see. Anti-work full interview. Yo, where is this interview? Okay, here we go.
1.6 million subscribers.
Yeah, here we go.
Joining me now is the person.
And if you're not familiar with, let's see here.
Listen, I think this might not be the greatest. Similar
Stuff like that.
Okay.
I would
do besides being a dog walker. Do you aspire to do anything? And how?
Yeah. So
how
I
old
find a
are
lot
you,
of
if you don't mind?
25 hour work weeks, which I putting effort into things that you care about. But I think one of the
What do you think is like a good work day?
Yeah, here we go. So if you're not familiar with Jesse Waters, one thing that he's done is the, anti-work interview. The interview with the anti-work dude from Reddit. That went fantastically. You guys remember this moment?
Care about, but I think one of the
what do you think is like a good work day? How many hours is a solid work day in your ideal society?
Sure. I mean, I think as much as people want. I mean, I personally work. I have like a 25 hour work weeks, which I think is fairly good. So I would like less work hours.
And what do you do, Doreen?
I'm a dog walker.
A dog walker. Okay.
Yes.
And how?
So
how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
Sure, I'm 30.
You're 30.
Okay, well, so Jesse Waters, probably at this point most popularly known for that. He also happened to be an alum of the O'Reilly Factory. He used to have a segment called Waters World, and he would just do these like really silly, kind of gimmicky and cheesy, but still fun segments where he just walk around, interview random people on the street. And then Fox News promoted him to having his own show, which was called, I think it was called Waters World at the time. It later changed to Jesse Waters Primetime, and now that show has been moved to 8 p.m. So this is the new schedule. You have Laura Ingraham, the beginning, at 7 p.m., Jesse Waters at 8 p.m., Hannity at 9 p.m., and then Gutfeld at 10 p.m. And this is a rather interesting move that, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Jesse Waters, I don't like his sense of humor. It just doesn't really connect to me. He just comes out more like snide than funny in most instances. Sorry. He just comes off as more snide than funny in most instances, in my opinion. The Ingram angle's fine. It's a fair replacement for the Kelly file. Hannity is always going to be Hannity. Gutfeld is good. I just hope that Gutfeld doesn't lose viewers, moving from, what was it, like 11 to 10? Because we did see when Fox News had another, fire show, The Five, when they moved that from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., But it didn't work out so well. Now, this change isn't really that dramatic, so I don't think it'll affect, Greg Gutfeld's show, and especially won't, keep the show from continuing to be, number one when it comes to late night talk shows. But just in general, like this lineup is just not particularly inspiring. Like how many like dudes my age? I'm 23, right? How many dudes my age are gonna be like, oh, I can't wait to see Laura Ingraham, and then Jesse Waters, and then Sean Hannity, and then Greg Gutfeld. I know a lot of people like Greg Gutfeld, but still, like this is just not a good lineup. But I guess if you're trying to target like geriatric Republicans, this is probably a solid lineup. To be honest, this is probably literally what they're looking for. So I guess, know your market, I suppose. I guess it just means I'm not their market, which I think is a problem because Fox News cannot continue to survive just doing this very like middle of the road, milquetoast, boring, lightweight takes forever. Because people who are younger, like me, like at the very least these lukewarm takes, presented in an interesting and surprising way, or we like radical new ideas, or like things that are outside of the mainstream. Fox News literally is the mainstream, so like I don't see this helping Fox News to continue to grow among younger audiences the way that Tucker Carlson's show did. So I mean, while this will maybe stabilize the ratings, I don't really see this saving the channel. I don't think there's anything saving the channel, especially since a lot of people are upset about Fox News not really, being on board with Donald Trump anymore. It's just not a recipe for success long term. I wish Jesse Waters, success. I ain't gonna watch his show, but I mean, I hope that he does okay. But it is what it is. Fox News is, so it's going to stay the same, which means that it's going to also decline, unfortunately. Just saying. All right. Let's see. On to bigger and better things. More interesting topics. Let's see here. Now, if you guys have watched enough of my streams and my content, you know that I have cast some doubt as to whether or not that phone call that Trump supposedly had where he showed a dude classified documents, I wasn't sure if that was actually real. We got the transcript, but we got no call. And usually we get leaks about Trump doing bad things. If Trump did something bad, the leak comes out. But we did not get that in that case until now. Now, CNN obtained the audio footage of the supposed call. And let's see, is this the full thing? They say here, CNN has exclusively obtained the audio recording of the 2021 meeting in Bedminster. So I'm going to assume that this is the full call. Hopefully this is not edited. We do not know for sure that they didn't edit this. But let's go ahead and play this. This is the, and actually I don't need to show the screen because there's no visuals to this. Here's the call that Donald Trump had where he, showed off classified documents, allegedly.
These are bad, sick people.
That was your coup, against you.
Well, it started right at the
like
beginning.
when Millie's talking about, you were going to try to do a coup. No, they were trying to do that before you even were sworn in.
That's right.
Trying to overthrow your election.
Well, with Millie, let me see that. I'll show you an example. He said that I wanted to attack Iran. Isn't it amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came up. Look. This was him. They presented me this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. This was the Defense Department and him. Wow. We looked at some. This was him. This wasn't done by me. This was him. All sorts of stuff. It's pages long. Look. Wait a minute. Let's see here.
Yeah.
I just found, isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case, Except it is like highly confidential, secret. This is secret information. Look at this. You attack, and
Hillary would print that out all the time, you know.
she'd send
Private
it.
email.
No, she'd send it to
Yeah.
Anthony Weiner,
Yeah.
the pervert.
Probably.
Please print.
By the way, isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
I was just saying because we were talking about it, and he said he wanted to attack Iran and what. These are the
You
papers.
did. It's pretty
This was done by the military, given to me. I think we can probably, right?
I don't know, we'll have to see, yeah, we'll have to try to figure out
Declassify.
yeah.
See, as president, I could have declassified
Yeah.
it. Now I can't, but this is
Yeah,
classified.
now we have a problem.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It's so cool. I mean, it's so, here and I have, and you probably almost didn't believe me, but now you believe me.
No, I believe
It's
you.
incredible, right?
No,
Hey, bring
they
some,
never had a
bring some
board.
Cokes
They
in,
didn't want
please.
it.
Interesting. Now, I don't know if this is the entire recording, but I think this certainly establishes a few things, assuming that it's real and not a deep fake or something. This establishes multiple things. I think this establishes that, at the very least, Donald Trump did not declassify what he showed when he showed it at this particular time. And I think it's, that's like the major thing. The major thing that this establishes is that Donald Trump did not classify the documents that he showed here, which is major, right? Because he has said, oh, I'm the president. I can declassify whatever I want, whenever I want. Now, I do frankly, agree with that because, we have precedents like Bill Clinton's sock drawer. You can go ahead and look that up, which basically does say that presidents do have some leeway in retaining classified documents after their tenure. As smart or not smart that president may be, that's just a precedent that exists. However, Trump here insinuates that he did not declassify what he showed. Now he said, I can't declassify, but that does not mean that he literally can't declassify it. It could mean that, he didn't want to do it for political reasons or something, so he may not have meant that metaphorically, he may not have meant that literally, probably meant it metaphorically, but still, it means that he did not declassify the documents for a specific reason. So, this goes directly against Donald Trump's claims that he's been making currently, that he declassified everything. Because, he's saying here that this is top secret, that this is classified. That means that he's doing this intentionally. So this certainly, I think, solidifies a case. This certainly solidifies a case against Donald Trump, because you can't really, skirt around this. Like, classified documents are no joke. Like I heard it pointed out recently that, some of the documents that he had were like nuclear secrets. Trump has all kinds of enemies, right? Imagine, some enemy of Trump's, some like disgruntled former BuzzFeed writer breaks into Donald Trump's, hotel room, finds a random paper that has nuclear codes on it, and then says to all his writer buddies, oh, look at this, sends it over, and then that leaks, and then people are now messing with America's nuclear capabilities. Not good. So, I would not be shocked to see Donald Trump, found guilty, of mishandling classified information. But this just makes me more upset at the FBI. Not for doing a witch hunt, because this does seem legitimate. It does seem like there's a case here against Donald Trump, but for not prosecuting this sooner. This call happened in 2021. Guess what year it is? It's 2023. It's very clear that as legitimate, this seems very legitimate. As legitimate as this case against Donald Trump is, it's still politically motivated. And we can't have politically motivated judicial systems, especially when it's very clear that they're doing this to damage Donald Trump's candidacy, while Hunter Biden has done far worse crimes. Joe Biden seems to have done worse crimes, or may have been complicit in Hunter Biden's many crimes. We had Hillary Clinton, who got away with a lot of criminal, behavior, much of which is actually extremely similar to what Trump has done here, just in a more digital sense than in a physical sense. But yet they're not being prosecuted. Why? Well, certainly, it certainly can't be because, the FBI is biased or anything. Like, the FBI is completely fair. The FBI does nothing wrong. They're not biased at all. Silliness. Goofiness. It's quite obvious that the FBI has bias here, unfortunately. And I hope that there's a way for that to change. Now, if this is due to FBI corruption, which is, somewhat likely, or like corruption in the DOJ and whatnot, there then is the question of how do you just get rid of corruption? Because, you can't just be like, corruption be gone, and just wave a magic wand. It doesn't really work like that. Some major reforms are going to have to be made. Maybe that means firing everyone and starting it over. I've called this terraforming. Terraforming the FBI is kind of what I'm in favor of. Maybe that's what Trump wants to do, but hey, are we really going to trust, the candidate who said he would drain the swamp to, clean up the FBI? I think not. So, all this shows is, another reason not to vote for Donald Trump, in my opinion, but also another reason not to trust the FBI, not to trust the DOJ, and proof that some reforms need to be made. Right? Let's keep on doing this investigation into Donald Trump. But let's also dig into Joe Biden. Let's also dig into Hunter Biden. Let's also dig into Hillary Clinton. But yeah, that's a frustrating case. I'm very much not happy about how that all turned out. Let's see. See, how long is this video?
Yo, what's going on, everyone?
Let's see, how long is this? Okay, we got that. And we've got this.
All right, before.
Okay. So, the Supreme Court just came down with this massive ruling when it comes to how, when it comes to how presidential elections are run. Let's see what Reuters has to say here about the ruling. The justices, in a 6-3 decision authored by conservative Chief Justice John Roberts, ruled against Republican state legislators in a case arising from a legal fight over their map of North Carolina's 14 U.S. House of Representative districts. The state's top court last year blocked the map as unlawfully biased against Democratic voters. Hold on, wait a second. Interesting, hold on. Oh, I see. Interesting. So this is a gerrymandering case that has far-reaching implications because of this next paragraph here. The legislators had asked the judges to embrace a once marginal legal theory called the independent state legislator doctrine, which would remove any role of state courts and state constitutions in regulating federal elections. Critics of this doctrine, including many legal scholars, Democrats, and liberal voting rights advocates, have called it a threat to American democratic norms. Interesting. The doctrine is part of the U.S. Constitution statement that states times, places, and manner of federal elections shall be prescribed in each state by the legislature thereof. Interesting. Now, it is interesting Robert's take here that the Elections Clause does not insulate state legislators from the ordinary exercise of state judicial review. I don't know how I feel about that ruling. I understand where the judges are coming from, but to be fair, it literally says that those times, places, and manners shall be prescribed in each state by the legislature thereof. There's no comma, there's no semicolon, there's no thing of like, well, except in these cases, right, we don't want them to change, the times, places, and manner thereof in that way. I don't know. I mean, it makes sense that Roberts would say this, though. Like, I get it, because you don't want to empower the local legislatures to do something that's illegal. But this seems like, it almost sets a precedent, but not really, because this does mean that when it comes to state, how states run federal elections, the state's justice system, they have, like, the judicial system in each state has a right to go through and challenge what the legislator says and say, oh, well, I don't know about this, I don't know about that, which is interesting, and I'm not sure how I feel about that, to be honest. Now, I think it'll just lead to some more confusion too, because if you're doing your election in the state, right, you come up with, the legislator comes up with the times, places, and manner thereof, and then those have to basically not be challenged by the judicial system. And if they're challenged by the judicial system, then you have to find new rules to accommodate that. But then each state's going to have different rules that may or may not get upended at any time by the judicial system. I feel like this could kind of be a mess unless there becomes some sort of standard as to how these things are supposed to be determined. And I hope that, one comes along, because that would be awesome. But interesting. And I'm not sure exactly what this means for how these elections are going to be run in the future. Hopefully, they're run fairly, because I was not a big fan of how the elections in 2020 were run. Hopefully there's more transparency, in this election, and there are not, that many irregularities. That would be awesome. So interesting, very interesting. I'm interested in seeing, what this leads to. All right. Let's see. I'm about ready to hop on and play some Halo. Give me 1 second here. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna pop into. Hold up. Let's see. I'm gonna pop into the Discord server. Let's see. Here we go. I'm popping into the Discord server for Card 3. It's not just an SMP. It's a whole community. All right. I'm playing some Halo. I'm going to start off with Halo Infinite. I reached out to the members of Card 3. There's a whole Minecraft SMP with a Card 3 SMP. I'm reaching out to them to see if they want to play Halo with me. If they want to play Halo with me, then I'll join them. But if not, well, I'll just be playing Halo Infinite by myself against bots while reading your guys' chat messages and listening to you guys. Well, also just listening to them because it's TTS. That's how it works. Mike has joined the chat. Hold on, sorry, I meant to unmute that. Mike said, "Hey there, are you Republican or Democrats?" I'm actually a Republican. I'm a reluctant Republican. I'm not a big fan of how the Republican does some things, but at the end of the day, the Republican Party is better than Democrat Party, in my opinion. They're certainly a lot closer to my values. And hey, I mean, if the party needs to change, right? How does that party change? Well, it's by people in the party being different. And so that's what I want to do. I mean, are you Republican or Democrat? I feel like it's a fair question to ask you, right? Since you asked me.
Mike said in the chat, gotcha. I'm a hardcore Democrat.
Hey, that's fair. I mean, here's one thing too, right? That it definitely, it should go without saying for all of my streams, is that I am hyper political. I'm a Christian. My Christian values fuel my politics. So, I care less about partisan lines than what's in the scriptures. But nonetheless, I am always down to have healthy debates, conversations with people, and I am down
Mike
to agree to disagree.
said in the chat,
so you're a hardcore Democrat?
Yeah, totally fair.
You're a hardcore Democrat. That's completely fine. I do not hate you. I have my beliefs. You have your beliefs. Right? Now, I may think that you're wrong on some things, but that doesn't mean that I hate you at all. Because I think that if we're going to have unity in this country, we need to be okay with not everybody agreeing with us. Because not everyone's going to agree on everything. We need to be okay with, people disagreeing sometimes. And it just kind of irks me that there's some people who are like, oh, you've got to agree with me on all these issues. Like, bruh, no, calm down, sip some tea. Like, we can just live together. No, not like that. I'm not gay. But we can all live, in the United States without, hating each other for what we believe, right? If I'm trying to think of a good example, right? Let's say I'm a fan of the New York Yankees, right? And then you come up and you're like, oh, I'm a Red Sox fan. Well, we can go back and forth about which team is best, right? And which team you should root for. But at the end of the day, we're still going to respect each other. We're not going to hate each other. And I feel like politics should be the same way. Because I think one thing that people overlook is that when it comes to people on both sides of the political aisle, nobody hates the person on the other side. Now, of course, the extremists on one side do tend to hate, folks on the other
I'm
side,
also
and
a
vice
Christian
versa.
conservative who is willing to discuss politics as a sane person.
Exactly.
I do value hearing others' views too.
Also, nice to see you with the chat, Arkenstone. Very few people on the right, proportionally, hate people on the left, and vice versa. Right? But I think that people on either side have trouble understanding that. So I think most people on the right think that Democrats hate people on the right. And most people on the left think that Republicans hate Democrats. Which is just not true. We just have different visions for what's best for everyone. Ain't nobody out here oh, I only want to be good for some people. Unless you're talking to some redneck racists. Right? But those are fringes. And you'll see the same on the Democrat side too, where it's oh, I want the rich to live in misery. I want white people to be my slaves. You see that on the Democrat side too, and it's those are the extremes. Those are not the norms. And another thing too is if you look at a lot of people who are saying crazy stuff or being bombastic, while it can be entertaining, I think it's just important to realize that for all intents and purposes, they're not real people. Not as in they're not people that exist, but they're not representative people that you will find in real life, right? You're not really going to find someone in real life who talks like Tucker Carlson, as much as I agree with some of the things that he says, right? You're not going to find people online who talk like that. So, or even Hasanabi would be a good example. You're not going to find normal people in the world talking about industrial complexes and how great socialism is. So I would take a lot of rhetoric that you see that's political with a grain of salt, because it doesn't always represent what people are like in the real world and what real people's values are. Look at how people vote. That'll tell you how, folks' values are when it comes down to demographic lines. Also, Arkenstone, you want to play Halo? I'm trying to load Halo Infinite, as you can see, but it's having some trouble. I wonder if there's like some sort of update that it's trying to download, but literally doesn't say anything. Like, it literally is just like a little progress bar. There's like nothing here. But hey, yo, res up if you want to hop on for sure. Oh, I should have done a follow up on the whole thing that was going on with Russia, because that was a whole situation. Oh, hey man, what's up?
Oh, hello.
Grandmaster Chappie.
Yep. Another alias in the many aliases.
I didn't know that was another one of your aliases. Wait, so what's up with this game, man? It's like taking forever to load.
I don't know. It's Halo. What do you expect?
I mean, it usually doesn't take this long.
Also, I wish I could play with you, but I don't have infinite access because I don't have an Xbox.
Mm.
And then also, my computer isn't capable of running Master Chief, unfortunately.
Oh. Wait, can it play the normal versions of the game? Or like any of the Halo games? That's not Master Chief?
I haven't checked this. I found this website called Can You Run It?
Oh. Wait, what are the specs for your computer?
Let's see. I have an 11th generation Intel core.
Okay.
12 gigs of RAM.
That's not bad.
I have a lot of disk space and Windows 10. The problem it's telling me is that I do not have a good video card.
Oh, what's your video card?
An Intel IRS XE graphics.
Oh, Intel graphics. Yeah. Yeah, integrated graphics that they're not great. Interesting. So Halo won't run on Intel graphics?
It says my graphics driver is 26 months out of date.
26? Well, to be fair, mine's kind of old too, but it's like more powerful.
Well, your computer's probably more powerful. This is a laptop we're talking about here.
Oh, true. Well, depending on what your clock speed is on your processor, like your CPU, I don't think that we have glaring differences. Although I do have 32 gigabytes of RAM, not 12, but I have so much overhead that having so much RAM like basically doesn't even matter. Finally, Halo Infinite loads.
Yeah.
Wait, so Halo doesn't run on integrated graphics?
I'm not sure. I remember the last time I had it downloaded and attempted it. It just would crash. I don't know if it was an anti-cheat thing or something, but
interesting, huh?
I don't know.
Armor
Also,
Core
I love
unlocked?
how you told people to calm down and. I do love you told people to sip some tea. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, I like. Hold on, wait. What is this? Armor Core unlocked? Epic Armor Core? Hazmat. How did I unlock this? That's cool.
Beats me.
Yeah, I mean, I like messing around, even if I'm saying something serious. Like, I don't have to I don't have to speak like I'm sterile.
We've been friends long enough. I know about how you take approaches.
Yeah. Let's see. What map should I do? Is there a way to do random? No, I guess there isn't.
I can't tell you.
See, that's one thing that was... Oh, sorry.
I guess I can say that it's... Maybe Halo Master Chief would potentially run. I don't know. I was able to run Sea of Thieves on my computer for a short time. For when I had it on there.
Interesting. Wait. No, wait. I've just looked it up. Have you tried running Halo? Because I'm seeing some people saying that they were able to run Halo Infinite on integrated graphics.
I haven't even tried Infinite with.
You should try it because it's possible that it'll run just with like lower graphics.
We'll see.
Man, I haven't played this in like 2 weeks.
Infinite multiplayer. The nice thing about Infinite, I like what they did with Infinite, where they made the multiplayer part free. Which is so nice, because otherwise the game's like... Oh, they have a new season out. Season 4, apparently.
Yeah, I actually haven't really paid too much attention to all the seasons. It always catches me off guard when I just like hop in and I see a new season. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's just battle. It's just bonus gear stuff, keeping people busy, keeping people engaged in Halo Infinite.
Yeah, I mean that's fair, and I mean generally works. Come on, where are all the enemies? I'm having trouble finding the enemies.
Oh, you got a bomb. Let's go.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
How very surgical.
That's a...
Oh man, I don't know how to use that weapon. I don't know how to use that weapon at all.
That's a hammer. That's a really strong weapon.
Yeah, it's like...
Oh.
Oh wait, I can detach this. Yo, let's go.
There we go. Alright, let's see. Oh, my computer... Infinite's free, but it might take my computer a hot second.
Oh, it's gotta download everything?
Yeah. It's a 40... It says it's 48 gigabytes, so...
Oof.
Unfortunately, I do not have a way to do Ethernet at my apartment. It's...
Ah.
Otherwise, this would be a bit faster.
Yeah, Ethernet's awesome. Dang.
Ethernet's cool. I agree it's pretty cool.
Yeah. If you can get Wi-Fi 5 though, it's not as good, but it's comparable. Like Wi-Fi 5 is like a bad Ethernet connection. It's like you reliably get like at least like 20 or 30 megabits per second speeds. It's pretty good for Wi-Fi.
Okay.
I'm
that's not...
Oh, sorry. I'm future-proofed all the way up to, oh my goodness. Nah, I'm pinned. I'm pinned. I'm future-proofed all the way to AXE. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Are you on... Oh, you're blue team.
Yeah.
You're the only one with a kill, aren't you?
Maybe? Actually, I don't think so. I mean... Nah, some of the other players have kills. my computer's actually future-proofed to. Oh, hey. To Wi-Fi 6, which is like the future standard that nobody really supports all too well, but it exists. Hold on. Dang it! I was trying to hit F, but it wouldn't let me. Wouldn't let me deplane.
I clicked on your video partly because I was curious about the
power weapon available. Drop wall acquired.
I was curious about the headlines, the thumbnail for it.
Oh, the thumbnail? Wait. The one where I was making the face?
The title of your video is what I meant to say.
Oh, the title. Yeah, I mean,
So did Fox hire a replacement for Tucker?
Yeah, it's Jesse Waters. Are you familiar with him? Just Jesse Waters.
I feel like I should know who that is, but I don't. I'm assuming he was a Fox News correspondent.
It's fine. He's a host. He's not particularly famous, although avid Fox viewers do like him. I think he's just okay. I don't like his sense of humor though. I think it just comes off more as snide than funny. But he did do that interview with the WeWork moderator, which made lots of waves on the internet because it basically led to the whole Reddit community shutting down and the whole anti-work movement dying off.
Oh.
Which is basically, I hope I'm representing it right, but it was like basically like a neo. Oh, come on. Basically almost like a neo-socialist or like pseudo-socialist movement. Kind of like socialist light, where basically they want people to not have to work to make a living, but they can if they want to. It's sort of the society they're pushing for.
That's... Well, ooh, that was a good assassination by whoever did that.
Bet that was a surprise.
Nice. I hope that Halo Infinite works for you so that you're not like waiting around to see if it'll install only to find out that it doesn't work at all. Whoa!
Well, considering that I'm only at 430 megabytes right now out of 48 giga, I'd say this is a download that's going to take a hot second.
Yeah, it might. It just might.
If only Nintendo Switch had Halo.
Oh.
That would be funny, but I don't think Nintendo would ever do that.
Yeah, me either, but it would be awesome.
I will say though that Nintendo has released. So Nintendo has these announcement things called Directs.
Mm-hmm.
You've probably heard of Nintendo Direct, right?
Yeah, basically the replacement for E3.
Essentially it's like their gaming announcements thing and showcase.
Yeah.
And they announced some really cool stuff this time. Like they announced there's a new Super Mario game being made.
Does it look good?
They're remastering a role-playing Mario, an RPG Mario game from years ago as well, which looks really cool, like 90 days better.
Oh, dang. Wait, which game are they remastering?
Super Mario RPG. That's all it's called.
What's RPG?
Consider this posse assembled.
Role-playing game.
Interesting. Huh. I didn't even know they had a role-playing game.
Yeah, there's a few So there's a few Mario games that are styled like that. Paper Mario is also kind of styled in that way.
Is that like an actual like game, or is that just like something you play with paper?
No, Paper Mario is actually a couple games.
Oh.
I've only seen one of them, which is the 1,000-Year Door, which is supposedly a really good Mario entry, but
You've got them on the run.
1,000-Year Door. Huh.
I'm not sure.
So what are these RPG games like? Because I've never actually played them before. Like, I have a DS, so I could probably get some. But
oh wait, you have a DS?
yeah, I have a DS Lite. I barely play it. I recently got Scribblenauts for it. I need to actually play it.
Speaking of retro stuff, I recently found a Wii at Goodwill and bought it for like $40.
Hey, was it good condition?
I haven't plugged it in yet to find out. It's in good condition as far as the looks of it go. I haven't plugged it in. I actually have not plugged it in to see how it runs yet.
Dude, that's awesome. Because Wii's are very, very fun. I wish I had one. Oh, well, I don't know. I don't know how much I would play it if I had it, but...
My idea... I think my plan... So my plan to do with the Wii... I haven't getting the Wii's like phase 1 of the plan. Phase 2 is to get Mario Kart Wii and mod it so that I can do custom tracks and stuff.
Yeah, I guess the game's relatively easy to mod because it's been out for so long, right? The system.
Oh yeah, there's easy ways to. Alec, if you know Snalec or Alec, I don't know if you met him, but he modded his Wii using a broken Lego Star Wars character.
He used a character to jailbreak the system?
Yeah, you have to in order to mod the Wii, you first have to hack it so that it breaks through the firewall or something, and then you can put whatever you want. He's put a bunch of games on there.
It's wild that you can just like pick up an existing game and use the game to jailbreak it rather than like plugging it into a computer and entering some code, which is what I would assume
Plasma grenades obtained.
you would have to do.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of
Gain the lead.
Yeah, Halo Infinite won't be done for tonight, probably.
No. Did you just hit 1 gigabyte?
We're not there yet.
Oh no! Oh no!
We've got rockets.
Alright, let's see. Meantime, look up other stuff like...
Well, if not, we can play BattleBit Remastered. I need to buy it though. But that sounds like something that should run on your computer. Ooh.
What game?
BattleBit Remastered? I'll probably be buying it this weekend. It's like $15. But it's basically like a cross between like Battlefield and
Oh my goodness, there's a website called Wii.guide, and it's the complete guides of modding your Wii.
it's a cross between like Battlefield and Roblox. Man. Oh, I'm not doing well this game. I mean, I guess practice makes perfect, and I'm out of practice. So that's kind of how these things go.
Yeah, I will say the reason I found you were online is I happened to get on YouTube originally to watch some videos, and I noticed you were online. So
Nice. That's cool, man. Yeah, I have a Discord, so that the people who want to watch me know that I'm live.
well, I'm part of I know about your Discord. The thing is that I'm in other Discords too, and it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm technically a moderator for Florbin's channel,
Oh yeah.
but there's so much content that happens that it's hard for me to even keep up.
Yeah. But I'm actually Discord on there too.
You're a Discord in the Discord?
Oh, sorry, I'm a moderator on there too. Sorry, I'm just getting very, very intense here.
I see.
Ah.
I can see your gameplay going on right now.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. I know.
Oh, be careful there. Yep. You walked right into an enemy camp.
Yeah, with no backup.
You still survived somehow.
Well. I ended up dying eventually. But I mean, hey, I guess we all do.
Yeah, it happens.
From time to time. Well, I guess right now I'm the Juggernaut, right?
The Juggernaut? I don't think that's the game mode you're playing.
Round
Nice! Let's go! This is how you close out a round. Yeah, I need to just get that weapon more often.
round 3. My recommendation: continue winning.
Oh, the voiceover dude says I should continue winning.
Oh! I'm watching your YouTube, and your reaction was your video's a little delayed from your reaction. So I heard you yell it, and then I saw you pick a hammer up. I'm like, oh yes, I see you. All right, let's see. What other?
All right, time to die. I'm not gonna say if it's me or the enemies, because then that way I can always be accurate. It was the enemy.
The Arkenstone said in the chat. My aliases: Kalen Slayer, Lord Hawkus, Arkenstone, Chappig, etc.
Oh, Lord Hawkins. It's been a while since I've seen you use Lord Hawkins.
I haven't used it. I don't use it as much anymore because it's an older one. Kalan Slayer is better, in my opinion. Ironically, Kalan Slayer and Lord Hawkus are actually the same person.
Really?
Yeah, like the story behind the characters. So there are characters from a fictional world that I invented, but never wrote any. I don't have anything written down about it. For the most part, Lord Hawkus is like a villain and Kalan's like a hero. It's not like firmly established lore either. It's kind of
just like in your head mostly.
It is now. It was a little more established when I was trying to write a book, a novel based on it, but I never finished the project.
Yeah, you should if you get the time and the motivation and stuff, you should definitely write it.
I feel like it would be. Just today I was like, I wonder if we'll get back to this soon.
Yeah, that'd be cool if you did.
I mean, it would make for a cool. The thing is, though, is where would I fit that in between? Well, I know there's like the Minecraft stuff on occasion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess you're probably pretty busy.
Well, I work full time.
Yeah, that wouldn't leave you with too much time for too many adventures.
Let's see. Yeah, I work full time my shifts are 8 to 5. In my shift, I mean my engineer work in the office is 8 to 5. And then it's a...
Yes, let's go!
So, work 8 to 5. It usually takes me like half an hour to get to and from, so that's another hour of driving.
An hour to go to and from? Dude, that's a crazy commute.
Well, no. What I meant to say, it takes me like 20 to 30 minutes to get there and 20-30 minutes to get back.
Oh, I see. That's not too bad.
In total, it's an extra hour. So essentially, the 10 hours of the day is work related around work. Usually wake up around 6:30 to 7 to get ready. I'm sleeping 7 to 8 hours. That doesn't leave a lot of time.
Ah, see, that's where your problem is. You're sleeping 8 hours.
Well, yeah. No, like, I usually get home 5:30. I don't go to bed till like 10. 10:30. It's like 4 to 5 hours in there in the evening.
No, I'm joking. Let's converge. There are reports of firefights, gentlemen.
Yeah. I kind of low-key wish I had not sold my Xbox last year. Because then I could play with you right now, because I had...
You had the Master Chief?
I had the well, I still have the Master Chief on DVD. I just don't have a way to...
Well, you could probably save for a new system, and then get your old data back, right?
I mean, I would have to get a new Game Pass thing to play online, but
I hate Game Passes. That's actually the main reason I don't do any console gaming.
How are you able to play online on your PC on Halo?
It's free on PC.
Oh. Well, maybe instead of a console, I should be saving up for a better PC. Maybe. Well, I joke when I'm thinking on the Forbin level, but Forbin went all out for his, so I'm not...
Yeah, he did. I mean, there's no way I could get the type of computer he has. Well, I mean, I could eventually, but like, it'd be tough for me to justify spending that much money. But then, his channel actually, it's a revenue making, it's a money making engine for him. So like, Of course he's gonna upgrade it.
I don't think he's making much money off it.
He's making some money, and I think his channel's gonna grow over time.
It will. I do believe he'll grow. I think so. His channel is one of the reasons I might be I may want to reconsider Terraria at some point.
Oh, like you want to consider playing it?
Well, here's the deal though. I wouldn't play it by myself because honestly, I don't know anything about the game, and it wouldn't be very fun to just like. There's other games I'd rather play if I was just playing by myself.
Yeah.
Right now, let's see. Right now on the Switch, I'm trying to work my way. I recently started playing like Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, the Zelda game.
Yeah, the new Zelda game. Because I have almost 200 hours put into Breath of the Wild.
It's not bad.
And I really enjoyed that game. So naturally, I was like, well, Tears of the Kingdom is supposed to be twice as big and better, right? Well, the better part is true. Like, there's so many quality of life things that are much better in this new game. But the mysterious thing is that it's so vast that my motivation to like plow through it has shrunk a little bit.
Wait, why don't you have motivation to explore? Because like if it's big, like I would think that is like more motivation. Because like there are so many things you haven't seen yet.
Well, yeah, like there's so many things to do and stuff. It's just like I guess I'm overwhelmed by what to do.
Oh, I see.
There's just so much. Also, there's parts of the game where it's like there's parts of the game where you can't really progress successfully or travel well without completing story.
And do you not like story?
I like the story bits. I love the story element of it. It's just that
Another trophy for the pile.
I don't know why. I don't know why it is that I just am trudging through a little bit. Maybe it's because like Breath of the Wild is an easier game. Like it took me a while to figure out how to survive in the game, but once I got strong enough, I was just able to plow through almost whatever I wanted to.
No! No!
Oh no, I'm gonna watch the YouTube and see this.
Oh.
Let me see this.
I'll say what I did after you watch it. Rookie mistake.
Nice. You launched yourself over the cliff.
Preston, I just didn't know that I didn't know that the thing had recoil at all. It's not the type of weapon you would expect to have recoil on either.
Nice. Yeah, the hammers having a recoil like that's always been that's been a big Halo staple. Like I remember in Reach and Halo 3 even that's a common thing.
I guess I just never had it like frequently enough to know that it would do that.
Well, that's a ding. Yeah, that guy's got a laser. He's gonna destroy you with that.
No, I figured it out. I wish YouTube had less latency, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is.
I mean, I think it's just how it works. Part of it is also most likely their yearning, their hunger to compress everything that you send. I don't like YouTube's compression. I've gotten some technical arguments over the internet recently with people who are like, no, YouTube looks just as good as Kick and Twitch. No, it doesn't. It does not. Oh, no, actually.
Twitch just has bad management.
Yeah.
Is their problem.
Yeah, Kick is the new Twitch, though. I'm looking forward to seeing how Kick goes.
Yeah, speaking of the streaming service stuff, it's been on my mind for a while whether or not I could stream games at some point.
You are an artist, and this vehicle is your brush.
Ooh, do you think your internet would be able to handle it, though?
Well, that's a good question. It's a good question. Obviously, I wouldn't really know unless I tried.
Yeah.
I also don't know if I would try at this apartment.
You got rowdy neighbors, or?
Well, the thing is, so the way my studio apartment's set up in a way that's not like ideal. Like, so I'm assuming you stream with just the computer.
Yeah, I stream with just one PC. I don't use like capture cards or anything. Although I have them.
Yeah, I feel like the stuff I would want to do is like Switch stuff.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that would. I don't know if I can use a. I don't think I can plug an HDMI into my laptop and run a Switch through that. I don't know if that's possible.
You could get a capture card, and cheap capture cards are definitely adequate enough. Like the one I got was like $15. And I did a test with just my like my Roku, and the quality seemed fine.
Victory.
Yeah, like the other. There's a few things I'm unsure about it that I would just have to do. Like a test run would tell me how it would work.
True.
Also, I don't have. Obviously, I know you have a mic.
I have an old mic that I could give you. It's the one I had before this, the Blue Yeti. Not the greatest mic in the world, but if you don't really have money for a mic, like it definitely works. Man, I don't know if it's the map. All my victories took like way too long to happen. Like it took me like 8 minutes to finish one round.
It looks like it's a big map, so
yeah, I'm thinking that's it.
So let's see. I have 2 gigabytes downloaded. Let's go.
How long has it been?
Probably been at least 30 minutes.
30 minutes and okay. 30 minutes. I'm trying to calculate this out. So that's like basically 4 gigabytes an hour. So it'll take you like 12 hours maybe?
Yeah, my computer will be running all night apparently.
I mean, one nice thing about overnight stuff though is that if you just let it run overnight, then you can just sleep through the processing and not have to wait, So that part of this is kind of cool.
That's nice. Also, I mean, the additional bonus is I have to go to work in the morning anyway, so that's even longer for my computer to run. Granted, I'll check on it. I would check on it in the morning to see how much it's done.
Hmm. Oh, what do you think about? Have you watched my Clips channel?
Your Clips channel?
Yeah. Have you seen it
I
before?
haven't watched. Let me see. Let me go to. Oh, not a newbie Clips.
Yeah.
I've seen it
Inbound.
before. I haven't
Kill
watched.
for your opponents to win. Overshield available.
I haven't. To be fair, I haven't watched a lot of content from your channel recently because I've been watching a lot of Mario Kart Wii content.
Mm.
So let's see. Yeah, there's some. Yeah, you got some different videos in here.
Yeah, it's like a mixture of like politics and culture. Because I feel like covering both is like good.
Perfect.
What the
I
heck?
see some old Cedarville stuff.
Yep.
That was the whole episode and whatnot.
Oh yeah, the whole situation with the stabbing.
Well, not only that, the revival that came right after it.
Oh yeah, that.
The one longer about. There was revival stuff. There was. I don't know.
Yo, my internet's bugging
The
out.
first half of the semester was. The half of the spring semester was wild, and the second half was busy. As I was finishing up stuff, especially as I finished up all my classes and graduated and moved across the country and stuff.
Yeah, like it was wild that it happened like
Power rifles.
as soon as I left. Although I technically didn't leave, I'm still doing classes online. But it's like
nearing victory.
it's crazy because I was actually went back and watched one of my videos talking about Cedarville, and I was like, oh no, I mean Cedarville has scandals like every 2 years, and like it's actually true. Like they had scandals. They had like the Anthony Moore scandal 2 years before.
That was a scandal. That was a scandal.
Yeah, that was like 2 years before this one. So next year will be fine, and then oh boy, we have no idea what the year after is gonna bring.
Oh boy.
Since odd
Well,
numbers, those
speaking
odd
of-
numbers are unlucky.
Wait, was it 20? That was 2020 when the whole Dr. White, Dr. Moore scandal thing happened.
I thought that was 21.
No, that was 2020. Because that happened right before sophomore year
Ah.
for me. So that was interesting. Granted, the entire COVID year at Cedarville felt like a mess.
Yeah. Whew, I like not thinking about that year for various reasons.
Yeah, do you remember the Karenwell Stanwell sisters?
Inbound. My recommendation.
Barely.
Continue winning. Overshield available.
I mean, hey, look.
There was a
Look, here's the
video
thing.
that-
Here's the thing about those years. They say that like if you're in a traumatic situation, you don't really remember like everything that was like from those like events, or especially if it was like a long period of time, you don't remember like everything from those moments or those years. Like you heard of that concept?
I have, yes.
It's kind of like that. It's so don't ask me about 2020. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
There's a, well, in all honesty, though, I don't remember a huge I don't remember like a whole lot from that year, other than the fun stuff that we were able to do. Like, you were in the hall, Nate was in the hall, Andrew was in the hall.
Yeah.
We were vibing at the time.
Yeah, I mean, like,
The
it was
best
the
we could.
Yeah, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Way too.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun time. And then you left for the new dorms,
Yep.
and then you left for home.
Yeah. For a job, for money. I would have stayed if I would have stayed if it wasn't so expensive. Not that it's crazy expensive. It's actually pretty cheap for a private college.
Oh, for private school, yeah, but compared to like the rest of college, it's expensive.
Round
Yeah. Wait, for who?
Overshield inbound.
Oh, face students?
Ever closer to victory.
No.
Overshield available.
Wait, I throw a shade every which way. No, wait, for who?
No, I'm saying that compared to like public college, most colleges are way cheaper than Cedarville.
Oh, yeah, true. Oh, that's right. 'Cause I guess the majority of colleges are state colleges, right?
Yeah, a lot of them are public state-funded ones. So they tend to get on the lower cost. Granted, they don't have as great facilities half the time. Either that or their campus is large, or there's a lot of crime and you could get...
Street cred.
Yeah, street cred by hazings or by... Well, Ohio outlawed it, so...
Oh, they did?
Yeah, that was like...
Don't they literally have OSU?
I know, that's probably why they outlawed it. Like, they passed... Like, right before senior year, they passed the anti-hazing law. So in order to join... The funny thing is that in order to join any board, Cedarville wanted the students to take an anti-hazing assessment or training course.
Oh, come on. Okay.
And I was in a few orgs, but I never took the training.
Nice.
Power items en route.
I mean, I'm not gonna haze it. I'm not gonna haze someone. That's not...
It's not nice.
That's not nice. I might torture someone with a Sonic X video or some other bad YouTube video. But...
Sonic X? I thought bad YouTube videos were banned. Okay.
Well, I'm talking about cringe. I'm talking about cringe videos like Coincidence.
Yeah. Well, that's not bad. That's just fun.
Yeah, well, I thought it was cringe. I never showed any of the freshmen, by the way, from this past year, that video.
You didn't? Oh, man.
Nope.
Dang.
I kind of killed the tradition a little bit.
We lost a round? No. Oh, man. Can't believe we lost a round. Yeah, I mean, I would like to hope that some of our culture did trickle down. Like, as long as we're not the ones getting arrested in drug busts, like, I feel like we've done our part.
Yeah, like...
I did hear that in my senior year, there was some Hill students got caught up in some drug stuff.
Huh. I didn't hear anything about that. That must have been kept hush-hush by the university, like most other big
I don't know.
things.
I mean, my brother knew about it, and so he told me, but, like, he literally lives in, like, a hive, or on campus, he lived in the hive of rumors. Like, if there was, like, a rumor mill, like, he knew all the workers. So so he heard about that and told me.
Yeah. And it's definitely something. Like, looking back, Cedarville was Cedarville was a great experience, good education. I got a degree and a job from it.
Mm-hmm.
I got lots of new friends, and relationships I can build off of and stuff. But as it is, like, even though I'll miss hanging out with the guys once the next year rolls, once they start school again. But it's like I'm free. I don't have to deal with homework anymore.
Yeah. The thing is, like, here's the thing. I liked the social aspect a lot. That's the main thing I miss. Like, if there was like some sort of like environment that's like socially akin to college, I would dive headfirst into that. I do think in hindsight though, a lot of people there, and I guess it's natural, a lot of people there were pretty immature, and I think that it doesn't mean I was inherently like super immature, but I think that it like allowed me to remain in like a more immature state than I probably should have been by the time I left, if that makes sense. Like,
well, that kind of makes sense. I think that might have happened to me a little bit. Like junior, senior. I think that might have happened a little bit to me as well, though. I was able to partly start on reversing that during spring senior year because I had to, because it finally hit me in the head that I was graduating and needed work. Reality struck me in the face and I accepted her punishment. And I have a secure job. I'm making good money now. I have an apartment. I'm on the wait list for a better apartment. I have food, I have clothes, I have income, I have... Like, I still... Like, even though I'm not physically present at the social life, we'll still have... I'll still be able to have the social life with the guys.
Yeah.
In various ways.
Yeah, and that's like...
Have to figure out what games we can play to make it work, but...
Yeah, but yeah, like, oh, sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, it's just like, it'll be nice. What's also nice is that here in Arizona, I actually found a young adults group that I've been able to hang out with, and we've done some fun. We've had a board game night already, and went out to a creek for swimming and stuff already. So.
That's awesome. Like, I don't...
Power items incoming.
I'm not in like any particular group in my church yet, but I definitely need to find one. I think I function a little bit better in groups rather than like trying to hunt people down like a mercenary, like one by one trying to find stuff to do. Like,
yeah, that's the thing, is that groups are much easier. Like, literally, so I found this group while checking out one of the churches in the area, and I decided, like, the way for me to plug in was literally just get in my car and drive 5 minutes down the road to this meeting on a Thursday night and check it out. There were like 3 other people there the first time, and I was like, oh, this is chill. Got to know some people. And then this past Thursday was board game night, and there were like 10 people there. It was like, oh. And then 12 people went with us on the... In total, we're at the swimming trip, so that was... It was a pretty solid trip.
That's cool.
Yeah. What also has helped a lot is that where I work, most, if not all, the coworkers are Christian.
And so that helps with your social life, because everybody at your church's social life is like dead.
No.
No.
Well, you're not keeping the insults to yourself tonight. I can tell that.
Well,
Yeah, like-
I mean, I could go through the past 2 or 3 years and insult. Well, for the topic that we're on now, if I was to insult myself, it would be insulting my choice in women, and I try to avoid bashing exes on stream. So.
Oh, that's a discussion that... Look, you don't want to have that discussion unless Florbin's in the room.
Oh, really?
When Florbin and Fear... If you get Florbin or Craze or Fire Fury in a room, or if you get them all together, it becomes a fun time when you start talking about
I don't know. I feel like it's just poor taste to talk about old relationships on like a public venue, like a stream. So I would never do that even if they were on and I was live.
Another trophy for the pile.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, YouTube's a bad place to share your sorrows. If you want to do that, you can go to TikTok.
Not necessarily like a sorrow. It's just like laughing at like bad decisions and head spaces I was at particular times, basically.
Yeah,
I mean,
TikTok's where you start talking about that kind of stuff.
I suppose. I mean, I'm far past the morning stage for like anything.
Yeah, it's just like as far as that stuff goes, I listen and I try to understand and I laugh along at the jokes and stuff. At the same time, though, I know deep down that I've never had that kind of experience in my life, so
I mean,
I can't 100% sympathize, but
yeah,
I can 99% sympathize.
Yeah. I mean, it's not all bad, cause like there are definitely good things. There are definitely good things even about having been in like failed relationships, but like if you never were in like a situation like where you liked someone and it didn't work out, especially if it like went like disastrously bad or toxic things happened like in those situations, then I mean at least you don't have like bitter tastes in your mouth, you know?
Yeah, that's true. You're not. I mean,
like people be like, "Oh, come and smell the roses," but like they're like Venus flytraps.
or like I don't know what it is, but the way you want, like, the best way a relationship can go is the one that leads to a.
We've got this in the bag.
Is the godly one that ends up leading to a long marriage or something.
Yes, I was glad you put godly in there, because otherwise, like, you're just gonna say like one that leads to marriage, and like, Bro, you should see some marriages. Like,
I mean, yeah, I don't have to look far to see. I don't have to look too far to find marriages that aren't good. But
wait, what are you saying about your parents?
whoa,
No, I'm joking.
Grand overshield.
Nah, but you're right. I mean, because like bad relationships are kind of everywhere.
they're everywhere. Like all you have to.
Trust us obtained.
It's very easy to tell. Like the thing about our music culture is that our music culture loves to talk about how relationships went bad for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like Taylor Swift has like at least a dozen songs where she's like, "Oh, he did me wrong."
Halfway to victory.
Like, I think I've said that. I don't know if we've had this discussion before, but like, when women singers, when they talk about relationships, they play like they're the smart ones, the victims. They're gonna get over it and stuff.
Wait, they're like the smart ones?
No, like they say that they did nothing. Like their attitude is like they'll be fine. This other guy was a dirtbag or something. And,
Have arrived.
and then you get to country music, and country music is just like my truck left me.
Your
I'm
truck
sad.
left you.
I need a beer.
Well, you know what's funny is like, I mean, you said that girls say that nothing was their fault, but I mean, like in guys' music, you generally will hear that too. Although sometimes you'll hear guys saying songs that like it was their fault, but usually you won't.
Yeah, like
Juice WRLD made the quintessential Juice WRLD made the Juice WRLD made the perpetual the perpetual quintessential breakup music. Pretty much our generation, and it was almost 100% just blaming the people he was with and calling them toxic, which I guess would kind of make sense. But I will say this is that and I'm just saying this from experience, okay? Like, if you're in relationships with toxic people, especially if you have like a trend, it's because you are either attracting or attracted to toxicity for some reason. And unless you figure out why, you're not going to break that cycle.
that's a good take. I can agree with that. Because like I don't know why I feel bad now for people who are attracting others. Well, hold on. Actually, if you're toxic and you're attracting other people, then your toxicity is a problem.
You're saying that if you're toxic and you're attracting toxic people, then that's a problem. No, if you're toxic and you're attracting people, that's a problem because you're bringing people into your vortex of toxicity.
Yeah, like there's like if you're like a lot of celebrity marriages go so terribly wrong because they marry for the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like they marry for sex, or they marry for money, or they marry for fame or something. They don't marry for the right reason, and then they realize, oh, this person's actually a piece of work.
I don't know. Like
there's celebrities. I could think of some celebrities that are probably like extremely toxic people that you would want to like if I ever wanted to look at the celebrity market, hypothetically, this is very hypothetical. I would never put myself out there in this terrible world. But
really, why not?
well, like the godly person market in Hollywood is very, very slim.
True.
To none. And even most of the so-called Christian are Christian scientists, so
Christian scientists? Science
Christian
bad?
Christian Science, like the cultish church that Tom Cruise belongs to.
Oh, Scientology.
Scientology, yeah. That's what I meant. You're either Scientologists or New Age or nominal Christians.
Yep. Or
Even
the
if
progressive ones.
Like,
which are like
most celebrities are straight up just secular people.
Yeah.
One of the other big problems is that a lot of these women out there have already defiled themselves or are in a marriage and want to cheat on their husband or they've been divorced at least once or 10 times or however many.
I mean, I will say that and I don't know if this is a hot take in Christian circles, but I don't think that someone's like past shall we say body counts that does not necessarily matter to me. What matters more is like how they're living now. I mean, of course, I ain't trying to like catch no virus, so like I would definitely like be wary on that front. But I think
STDs.
What?
No to STDs or anything.
Yeah. Like ain't nobody want to like be messing with all that. I don't know how you would mitigate those or whatever. But my point being is that like it matters more like how you're living now, because God can save anyone, and have them change their ways. And so if God's like, change their heart so they're not doing that stuff anymore, then like, I mean, I could see some ways in which that could be a problem, but I don't think it would be a problem to the point where it would take marriage out of the equation.
No, so let me distinguish here. Like, it's one thing, like, if someone who had only been, in the dating circle, like, they never got married, or, let's say it's, yeah, I'm thinking, so let's say this celebrity person's never got married, she's had a few boyfriends or something and has slept with them a few times, and then became a Christian and whatnot. Like, the fact that, if she had never been married, the fact that she had slept with other people before her conversion won't be something that would stop me from pursuing a potential relationship per se, as long as I knew that it was a genuine repentance and she's not currently living that way.
Yeah.
Where I would draw the line, though, is if someone was married and then divorced, and the husband was still alive. Because the Bible is Jesus made it pretty clear that either the Old Testament or Jesus himself was clear that if you married a divorced woman and her husband was still alive, then you've committed adultery with that person as well. I think it's Matthew 19 or something.
What if the husband has remarried? Because I think the presumption is if the divorce that occurred, then they should get back together. That's like the presumption, I would guess, right? But if the husband has remarried, then like what can be done?
Nothing could be done. Like, the woman can't really do much in that case. The only thing the woman could do is, now this could be a very hot take as well.
Mm-hmm.
This could be a hot take, and if I post it in your Discord, I could get some flack from somebody for this, but I would think that so long as the husband's alive, even if he's married to someone else, I would say that the woman, if she was a believer, could continue to show, like, even if the marriage no longer happens, like, I would think that I would maybe contend that she could remain single as a show of faithfulness, even if the person's not faithful back.
Well, I think the question isn't like...
It's a hot take, and it's like, this is a very tricky issue because...
Hold on, what passage is that?
I think it's Matthew. I'm pretty sure it's Matthew 19. There's probably also one in Luke, but...
Because let me look up the context of that passage. Because you make a good point, but I would say that... Right,
I mean,
like the majority of people who the type of person who would like just like do a like a no fault divorce type thing, excuse me, probably would be down to get down with somebody else later and like remarry. So I think the question would be like, would it be a sin, right? Versus like, what would she do? Because I think the presumption should be that. Or we could expect most people who divorce to at least attempt to remarry, right? Like based on what we see in society.
A lot of people who divorce end up remarrying someone else, or it's rare. I'm sure it's rare, but there's probably a few cases where a husband and wife divorce and then later get back together again and renew their vows. So that's very rare in this culture.
It happens sometimes. I would presume that it would happen more in Christian circles than outside of Christian circles.
Yeah, it's not very common in the secular world. Like, normally in the secular world, when you divorce, it's an ugly affair and you guys hate each other for eternity afterward.
Yeah. Let's see.
There's a reason why the word wife or ex-husband is scary in this culture. People don't like for some reason, people don't like in-laws, and then people don't like exes. That seems to be cultural mandates. Well, the in-law thing is kind of just a stereotype thing.
Yeah, no, the in-law thing isn't...
That's a superstition.
I'm not gonna spill beans on old relationships, but I will say the in-law thing definitely was not true in my case at all. So I just put it out there like that. Both ways. I'll just put it like that. Or hold on, let me see. I could actually just DM you.
A direct message?
Yeah, hold on. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see. Yes, I can. That's really funny.
Not as much in the first case and the second case, which is pretty ironic, because of how shall I say the quality of of my exes. But yeah, interesting.
Now,
Hold on, let me hunt down these passages here. About divorce. So we have here the Luke passage. So there's Luke 16,
oh my goodness.
18, that says, whoever divorces his wife and marries another commits adultery, and whoever marries her who is divorced from her husband commits adultery. We also have Matthew 5, 27, that says, well, I think it's a good portion here. 27 says, you have heard that it was said to those of old, you should not commit adultery. Verse 28, but I say to you that whoever looks at a woman to lust for her has already committed adultery with her in his heart. This seems to give no caveats to your point. I did see, hold on, there's this got questions thing. There's a question about it.
A question about the remarriage thing?
Yeah, it posits these questions. Hold on, let me see. I'm going to get rid of the text to chat thing, or the chat. Yeah, chat window. So they say that it is our view that in certain It is our view that in certain instances, a person is allowed to divorce and remarry without being guilty of adultery. A person whose spouse commits adultery, for example, and a believer whose unbelieving spouse abandons the marriage. We're not saying that a person under these circumstances should remarry. The Bible's instruction to divorce people is to remain single or be reconciled. Hold on, that's Romans 1. First Romans 7:11. Well, let me pull that up here.
Wait, First Romans.
Oh, sorry. First Corinthians.
Oh, Amar, I am reading the exact same article you are, which is very funny. That's why I was able to correct you there. Like, wait, First Romans? Is there a second Romans?
No.
I didn't know about?
Okay,
Man,
hold on.
the Bible
So,
really is
so First
lagging
Corinthians
behind the
7 says, oh, so this goes into it more in depth. Okay. So here's the whole paragraph. Now to the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord. A wife is not to depart from her husband, but even if she does depart, let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to her husband. And a husband is not to divorce his wife. But to the rest I say, to the rest I, not the Lord, say, if any brother has a wife who does not believe and she is willing to live with him, do not divorce her. And a woman who has a husband who does not believe, if he is willing to live with her, let her not divorce him. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Otherwise, your children would be unclean, but now they are holy. But if the unbeliever departs, let him depart, or a brother or a sister is not under bondage in such cases. But God has called us to peace. For how do you know, O wife, whether you will save your husband, or how do you know, O husband, whether you will save your wife? So it sounds to me like he is saying that the biblical mandate is to not get divorced, try to get back together if you do end up getting divorced, but that is only going to that applies to Christians. That those first two verses, 10 and 11. But it looks like 12 through 16 he's actually saying, because he literally says in verse 12, right? But to the rest I, not the Lord, say. So he's saying that this is his mandate. So he is basically saying that
Paul's essentially like this passage here, Paul. So, the Bible is very clear that that God hates divorce. Like,
Yes.
there's no question that divorce is an evil in that of itself that should never have been taken.
Right.
There's only, like, we can argue whether or not divorcing because of someone's adultery is a sin or not, but
Well, no. I mean, I'm pretty sure there are multiple passages that talk about that and say that there is an out in that case. I forget the passage, but I'm pretty sure that's actually in the Old Testament.
let's see. Yeah, Deuteronomy 24 mentions remarriage after divorce. It doesn't call it adultery, though. Or demand the death penalty for the remarried spouse.
Well, we don't live in a theocracy.
Yeah,
But what I would say is that it looks like what he's saying is, it sounds like what he's trying to say in verses 12 through 16 here in 1 Corinthians chapter 7 is he's trying to go against what would be like the default before his commands, because it's almost sounding like Christians are called to, as strictly as possible, adhere to the principle of being evenly yoked while married. So what this means is Christians are not to marry unbelievers, and also that the two should not be married. So basically, it sounds like he's acting. I could be adding to the text here. I hope I'm not adding to the text, but it sounds like what he's saying is the default position based on previous precedent would be if two unbelievers get married, one gets saved, the natural expectation would be that the Christian would leave because that person is unevenly yoked. But Paul is saying here, well, hold on a minute, stick around, because as it says in verse 16, how do you know, a wife, whether you will save your husband, or how do you know, a husband, whether you will save your wife?
right.
So it sounds like he's acting like without his instruction, there would naturally be an out. I could be. Am I wrong? Am I reading into the text? I hope I'm not.
I don't think I see what you're saying. Like, I think what Paul, like, I see what Paul's saying here. Like, Paul in other places in some of Paul's other writings, there's passages where he talks about not being unequally yoked. I believe that's like a 2 Corinthians or a. I think it's like another Corinthians passage somewhere that talks about not being unequally yoked. That's like 2 Corinthians 6, but essentially, like I think what Paul is also saying here is that, like, even like if there is a marriage where one person's saved and the other's not, then they shouldn't divorce just because of the difference in their salvation. Unless if the unbeliever decides that, hey, you're getting annoying, I want out, then it seems like Paul's saying that, like, in that case, a divorce would not be ideal, but may have to happen. and that there shouldn't be like hard feet. Like you shouldn't. Well, in like Paul's instruction here wouldn't exist if we lived in a perfect world.
True.
His instruction seems to be like a worded advice for a situation like this, where he's like, well, if this happens, then go in peace to each other or something. Like, if a divorce is inevitable, at least do so peaceably and not dragging and kicking each other in court or something.
Right, which is what we see in verse 15, which is like, but if the unbeliever departs, let him depart. A brother or sister is not under bondage in such cases.
Yeah. Like, the other thing to keep in mind is that, like, 1 Corinthians, like, a lot of 1 Corinthians especially is notorious for having a lot of hard commands to wrestle with. Like, there's a lot of different commands in this epistle that are difficult to wrestle with in their applicability to today's world.
Like what?
Like, so if you look at 1 Corinthians 11, there's instructions about... 1 Corinthians 11 has instructions on head clothing. On head coverings. The chapter starts with an instruction on head coverings, where Paul says that a man who prays with his head covered dishonors his head, but women who pray with her hair uncovered dishonors herself, which is a very difficult instruction.
I think the most confusing part about that is the end of verse 10, where it says, for this reason, the woman ought to have a symbol of authority over on her head because of the angels. I think a lot of people are not sure what that means because of the angels, and I'm not sure what that means. But I mean,
it's really confusing. Like, it's a very difficult passage because the big argument is, like, there are some churches such as Mennonites, Amish, etc., that do practice women wearing head coverings in worship. And then, like, I'm pretty sure you've definitely seen this in all sorts of churches. Like, there's many, like, a lot of women don't wear scarves on their head when they go to church.
Yeah.
It's not common in this country.
I did hear an interpretation like a month or two ago that basically of this passage, which basically said that the covering doesn't have to be external. So basically, right? It's saying that, what is it saying? It's saying men do not have their heads covered. Women have their heads covered. I think the interpretation was that this could be telling men to not be like growing their hair out all long like Absalom, and for women to not be shaving their heads or having their hair cut down like Jada Pinkett Smith. And if your hair is like kind of like in the middle, like where like Rachel Maddow's is, like shave it all the way down and have that, you know, just be a display of
like
the shame that is like not having your hair, not having your head covered. But part of me wonders too if like verse 10 means that this is all symbolic. So you could have a different way of showing that you are submitting to the leadership of a husband. I don't know what it means exactly. Maybe you could say something similar about like wedding rings, like don't go to church without your wedding ring on, because then you have the symbol of authority. Not sure about that.
Yeah, it's a difficult passage. Now, what's really weird about the context, if you look, like it's squeezed in between two different passages. So right after this passage comes the teaching on the Lord's Supper, which is far less controversial and more clear.
Yes, true.
But then the teaching, I don't remember what the teaching before it is, but I feel like it's almost the
teaching before?
Oh, the teaching before that is to do everything to the glory to God, which
based.
And a warning against idolatry. It looks like it's a section. Now, granted, chapters 12 through 14 is probably the most controversial because the spiritual gifts come in.
Ooh, yeah, that's a touchy subject.
It's very touchy because you wonder, can people speak in tongues? Can people prophesy? Can people have visions still?
I mean, I would say technically
I think it's
yes,
technically possible,
but they usually don't.
I would not argue, like, to argue that it is impossible for a vision to happen would be to argue that God can't do something, and we all know that's a futile argument because God can do anything. If he wanted me to have a vision, he would give me a vision.
Yeah. I mean,
and if he doesn't want me to have one, then obviously I'm not having one right now.
Yeah, I don't know what Christian would say. It is completely impossible for God to give someone a vision today. That would be an extremely unorthodox position to kind of put God in that box.
Now, it would be uncommon. It's not very common, especially in the American church. But like there are stories from like all over the world, like especially in the Muslim culture where people will have visions of Jesus or something and be saved.
True.
There are stories about that, and I can't deny that those kinds of situations can still happen. We just don't see it.
Yeah.
Now, also, despite what the Pentecostals say, we can't just speak in tongues whenever we want to.
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand it, like, this is something that comes upon.
Is also not a way to clean yourself of the whole. It's not a symbol of the Spirit's power. It's stupidity. There are churches that do that. I've never been to one, and I never will go to one
on purpose.
I don't want to die in church. That would be don't want to die being bit by a snake in a church. That would kind of be a weird way to go out.
Yeesh. Yeah, no, me either. Yeah, I mean, yeah, those are, yeah, the whole tongues thing is certainly controversial, but I think it's important to note that tongues as utilized today aren't even close to tongues that you see them in the scriptures. The way that you see in the scriptures is some dude is speaking. Like I'm speaking just like how I'm talking now, but then whoever's listening to me hears it in their native tongue of Portuguese. That's how it happened in the New Testament. And that's not really what you see happening today in many of these instances. It's just people speaking gobbledygook. Like linguists look at this and they're like, it's not speaking any discernible language. There's not even a recognizable speech pattern here consistent of what you would find in spoken word.
Yeah, like
so
there's some things like raising the dead, healing casting out demons and stuff that were far more common when the apostles were around, because the apostles started the church, and Jesus gave them, like, the Holy Spirit empowered certain people, the apostles and some of their followers, with the gift of miracles as a way of growing the church and witnessing about Jesus and stuff. And then once the church was more established and the written word was complete, like, miracles are far less common. Like,
yeah, true.
You don't see, like, people aren't just walking out of their tomb in Kansas on a random Sunday anymore. Like, that just doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Like, I can't think of a single instance in the past 10 years or story I have heard of anyone in America rising out of the dead, being raised from the dead. I don't know any story.
You do see stories from time to come across the world of people getting raised from the dead. I wouldn't be shocked if in some cases witchcraft was involved in that, though. But there's some cases where, you look at the situation, it's possible that maybe it was God who rose this person up from the dead,
It is possible. Now, there's a whole debate of, like, witchcraft and demonic power and stuff are also debatable things as to how extensive they are.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure they're real. I think the spiritual world is real. The demonic realm is legit.
I'm not saying demons aren't real. That's I know demons exist, and they will wreak havoc in places where God lets them wreak havoc. Like, Satan does do stuff in this world. God just controls it and tells him what he's allowed to do. Like, the thing is, like, we don't see a lot of, like, America's, like, a really bad example of some of this other stuff because we don't see it happen often.
Yeah.
We don't see a lot of witches on broomsticks flying around casting spells.
Oh, well, now we actually see witches and witchcraft all over the place in America now. Use of witchcraft is actually on the rise. If you just track the Wicca community, the Wiccan community, wasn't there like one of the biggest like Wicca festivals or conferences ever held like a month or two ago? Like, witchcraft in America is on the rise for sure.
Like, there's
it's Church. Oh, sorry, Church of Satan. It was the Church of Satan who had the conference. My bad.
Why do they call them? They worship the devil. Why are they called a church? That's
because they worship it. So, like,
it's like that's.
I mean, Church of Christ, they worship Christ. Church of Satan, they worship Satan. It's nearly eponymous.
Muslims don't call themselves the Church of Allah.
Like, that's no, but they could if they wanted to.
And then the Jews called themselves Church of God?
Church of Moses? I don't know.
The Church of Moses. Who worships Moses? There's a reason. The reason Moses' body doesn't exist, as far as Moses' body pretty much is completely hidden to the point where no one can find it.
Well, I'm sure no one could find it by now, but hidden? I thought that what happened was he hit the so during Exodus, while they were wandering the desert and searching for the promised land, there was that one point in time where everyone was basically like dying of thirst because they were out of water. It's the desert. It's kind of how things go over there. And God said, hey, go over to that rock, and if you speak to the rock, then the water will come out. So Moses went out to the rock, and I think he spoke to it, but he also hit the rock. And so God said, well, because
You disobeyed.
Yeah, because you disobeyed, you're not going to see the promised land. And so Joshua was the one who ended up leading them into the promised land. And then Moses
died on like a mountain or something.
Did he ascend or did he just die there?
Well, the Bible says he died. And the Old Testament, so the Old Testament, as far as the Pentateuch is concerned, is pretty literal in its translation. There's not really much passages in the first 5 books of the Old Testament where there's some figurative stuff, except in Psalm.
Oh, except for the first days of creation, not literal 7 days, because all Christians gotta be hip and cool evolutionists. No, I'm joking.
I mean, what I'm saying is that, so when it says that Moses sat on the mountain and died, that's pretty much what happened. Like, the guy was 120 when he died.
Yeah.
And he led the Israelites out of Egypt when he was 80. Like, that's mind-boggling.
Yeah, I mean, he was still younger than Trump and Biden.
Yes, but not by much. Like, can you imagine if Biden had led an entire nation of people out of Egypt?
Oh boy.
Actually,
that's all I have to say.
Like, essentially, like, Moses was old. He died. Obviously, now, his body probably wasn't just left on the ground to rot. Like, that's not... So either one of two things happened. Because the Israelites found out he died somehow, and they mourned his death. God may have just told them directly, too. Like, God revealed stuff to them directly a lot. Usually through Moses or Joshua, so... Chances are is that someone was at the edge of the mountain, and then after a while they realize Moses hasn't come down. They go up and find his body, and then they bury it. Now, the more likely story, and this is based kind of on Jude, the book of Jude has a weird passage where Satan and the archangel or Michael are arguing over the body of Moses.
Ooh.
And Michael tells Satan to rebuke Satan. It's not in, like, there's no other passage of the Bible that mentions the body of Moses. And it's based off of Jude based it kind of off an apocryphal Jewish writing and used it as an example in the scripture.
I see.
So it's not... So obviously, it's got to be taken with a grain of salt. I'm more under the impression that when Moses died, God may have hidden his body so that no one could worship it.
Yeah. Because God has been known to do funky stuff with bodies from time to time, like in the Old Testament, especially.
Yeah, like...
Because it was like when Elisha was like drawn up in the chariot and stuff.
Yeah, Elijah was drawn up in the chariot. When Elisha died, they threw his body in a grave with another pile of bones, and that guy who was buried there rose from the dead.
Oh, also, sorry, but you said you live in Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, so you're... Yeah, so it's 10:15 p.m. where you are. It's like 1:15 over here. I need to go to bed.
Yeah, you need to go. I actually need to go to bed soon because I have to wake up for work tomorrow.
How'd you like my attempt at a segue?
At a what?
At a segue.
At a segue?
Yeah.
It was a good attempt. Like,
I tried.
You know, you tried. You know what? I think I would think it would be fun to do politics talk and stuff at one point. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I would.
I know you and Forbin have the chat thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, when do you guys do that actually? Because I'm not.
We hold on, let me see. Cause the thing is, I'm not 100% sure if he's okay with that info being on my Discord, on my YouTube live stream. Because we talked about it, and he's not sure yet. But let's see.
Yeah, like even if, like, I wouldn't mind if you just DM'd me some information, so I can at least find the channel and. Oh. Okay. That's not bad.
Yeah. Let me see. Here we go. Boom. There's the link. Don't leak it.
Don't send it to anyone, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
So this is funny. It's a thing that you don't want publicly going out everywhere. And yet you want viewers to see it.
you have to talk to him about it. It if I explained it, it would make people look for it. So I'm not going to explain it on stream, but it makes more sense than it sounds, for sure.
I know why. I know who you're talking about, and I know why they're doing it this way.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've had this discussion with them before too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's a whole thing that's we're thinking through it pretty carefully. But in regards to doing content, I would be down to like have calls with you on stream where we talk about politics, but also like talking about like theology on stream would also be like really, really awesome, because I definitely want to add more like Christian things to stream, and this would be like a very natural way to do that, because it's just like a very natural conversation where we're talking about scripture and theology, and we're going through the Bible together too, which I think is also important, both for those conversations and also for like
that's what Christian brothers are supposed to do. Is they go over scripture, they talk, they debate. We butt heads sometimes.
Sometimes.
Not and usually, depending on our theological background, it's not common to butt heads.
Mm-hmm.
Like it seems like we both went to Cedarville,
right?
And we both have a general. So I'm assuming that we both share some very general consensus. Like we can both probably agree on a lot of different points. But there's some points where we might have, like there's some parts of scripture where we might just have interpretation differences based on experiences or what we're coming from. Like, you might interpret a passage differently because you're African American, or I might interpret something different because I never lived in Tennessee, or I don't know why that would be an interpretation result, but
me either. But like, hold on, I thought for sure I had this in my bag.
Also, like you said a long time, like way earlier in this video, like we can't. There's no way everyone on Earth is going to agree to the same things. We all have differences. Some are subtle.
Even unbelievers will disagree from time to time.
Why do you think we have a First Baptist and a Second Baptist right next door to each other sometimes? If Baptists can't agree with each other, and there's no way a Catholic and a Muslim can agree with each other.
No, wait. What do you mean? Like, Baptists agree with each other always, all the time, unconditionally.
Why is there a First Baptist on one? There's a First Baptist in Shello and a First Baptist in Pine Top. Why aren't they the same church body?
I do not know. Hold on. I'm looking for something. I couldn't find it. Hold on. I have to let you go. Yeah, no. It's fine. It's fine if I don't find the thing. But I still do need to go to bed. But yeah, I'd definitely be down to have like theological conversations on stream and like political conversations on stream. And it'd be nice to have somebody else to like float in the rotation to, because there's ISM who I've had political conversations with before. And I could ask him to be on again, but I feel like having just like one guest on would be a little bit repetitive, because like, oh, it's the same person over and over again. He's a co-host when it's like it's not a show. Like
I just clicked on the thing you sent me. I'm loving this already. I'm loving what I'm seeing with the shorts already.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's really fun to shoot. The only thing is it's all 100% personal stuff, like it's stuff I need to work on, but I'm not the best person to collaborate with. I'm just like a nightmare if you're trying to get me on time and stuff. So I'm trying to work on that. On-screen chemistry between me and like other people I collab with, like the Liberator and stuff, is awesome. But it's just the logistics is just like it's not a nightmare.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
not, like,
logistical night. Look, if we can't get you to get on the Minecraft server half the time, then we know it's a logistical nightmare to get you to do other stuff.
No, yes, yeah, no, that's like an example of that. Just because I can be late to things. It's hard for me to like schedule stuff sometimes. It's a whole thing.
Yeah,
But
you
anyways,
work full. I'm assuming you're working full time.
Yeah, I do, and that could come to things too, depending on how I schedule stuff. Because work can run late. So, but anyways,
now, you're not, now you're not doing classes, so.
Oh no, yeah. My classes started like 2 days ago.
Oh, are you almost done with college, man? Like, come on, you've been.
Nice.
You started a year before me, and you're finishing after me. This is a problem.
Yeah, it's basically I had like 3 semesters worth of classes left. And so in order to take them at a pace where I could still work full time, I need to spread them out. So I'll be done by the end of the year.
Oh, so you'll actually be done by the end of this year?
Yeah, I'm down to like 5 classes left.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so I'm taking 2 in the summer and 3 in the fall, then I'll be done.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You'll finally graduate. You'll graduate a year and a half after some of the other guys did.
True. All right, I gotta head out, so.
Yep.
It's like 1:30 now.
Nice seeing you.
Yeah, nice seeing you, man. All right. Peace out. Ooh, all right, that was a fun stream. I definitely agree. I definitely agree with the Arkenstone there. That I need to have him on stream more, because having him on stream is pretty fun. Like I think he brings a pretty balanced take. I don't know how much we agree on politics though. Talking to someone who disagrees with me on politics is very fun. So if I'm looking for like combative content, I may not go to him. But it's like it's good to mix things up. Don't always have like the same person on stream every single time. So that should be fire. Also, going over scripture on stream, also fire. Like it'd be great to have somebody to talk about like theological topics with on stream. Especially since I feel like that's not really something that you see online, especially in this format of content, right? Where it's like, I guess Poggers style streamer, I guess it'd be fair to say. You don't really see Poggers style streamers, you know, just like chopping it up over like, you know, doctrine. So Ruslan does it really, really well. But anyways, peace out, y'all. Thanks for tuning in.
Picasso, oops, Picasso, you made my heart grow. A lesson I learned from the seed is it starts slow. Trust me, you gon' see the tree if you look close. Don't you know having faith is a substance of things that you don't see? But trust me, you gon' see the fruits of your labor. Trust in the king and my focus on laser.